Right, I'd just like to start this video by saying that I've been playing this game for quite a while now, just a couple of months, on and off. I'm only level 60 so far because I don't have that much time to spend on playing games, but from my limited experience with this game, I've got to say, comparing it to past Battlefield games, I think Battlefield 6 has a lot of potential, and I think it holds up pretty well, actually. It feels like a legitimate, high-quality product, which is very rare these days. I mean, if it released 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't bat an eye. I wouldn't even question it. But a game like Battlefield 6 in 2025 is kind of unusual, especially since the past few Battlefield games have been very low quality, specifically 2042 and maybe even Battlefield 5 when it first came out. It wasn't the highest of quality. Obviously they've improved it throughout the years, but it's been very clear that Battlefield seemed to be going downhill, as well as other franchises like Call of Duty, which is still going downhill, and it really does just seem like games nowadays are really low quality. So Battlefield 6 is weird in the sense that it feels like a complete, well-rounded, high-quality, polished game. You can feel that when you're playing it as well. Yeah, in short, I think Battlefield 6 is turning out to be a pretty good game, but I think it could be even better. And this is how I think they could improve it, or keep it alive for even longer. And I'm going to give you a hint. It's to do with the maps. So far, the maps are fairly safe. They're fairly balanced. They're not terrible. They're not great. Most of the maps are quite close quarters, which is fine. It's fine having a couple of fast-paced close quarters maps just to use your assault classes on, and just to use regular guns without the fear of getting sniped from halfway across the map. We'll get back to that later. But so far I think the maps are just fine. There's nothing that really stands out. There's nothing really special about them. And I think that's the game's biggest problem so far. And I think they could really make this game one of the best if they just released a couple of original good maps. So, if you look at past Battlefield games, if you look at Battlefield 4, and what made that game feel so special and amazing, it's because you had maps that are just so memorable that when you hear the word Battlefield, those maps just pop into our heads instantly. When I hear Battlefield, I immediately think of Siege of Shanghai, or Parcel Storm, whatever that map was called. Those are the kind of maps that immediately pop into my head. I don't think I'm going to remember any of Battlefield 2042's maps. Even, but the most iconic maps are from Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, a couple of Battlefield 1 maps as well. And it's not necessarily just about the size, but the size does matter. Those maps that are very memorable, most of them, there are some really small ones like Ocean Locker and all that, but most of these memorable maps are pretty large. They're on the larger side. And that's what makes Battlefield kind of special, that they can just have these full-out battles in different corners of this massive map, and it truly feels like a large-scale war of sorts. It feels truly different and distinct from any other multiplayer shooter game. I mean, I'll use Siege of Shanghai as an example. That map is truly special. That map sticks with me more than any other Battlefield map. When people say the word Battlefield, that map instantly pops into my head. And it's probably one of my favourite maps of all time. Now, I know Siege of Shanghai is not a perfect map. I know a lot of people don't like it because of the Levolution event. But it's such an iconic map. It's such a fun map to play on. Just going up the elevators, teabagging your teammates as you go up the elevators. Just simple things like that. Just small little things. The map just felt so adventurous. Every time it was on, I was excited to play it. I was looking forward to playing it. It never got old. it's hard to explain why. It's not a perfect map. Obviously, it has loads of problems. The Levolution event sort of ruins the map. But before the Levolution event happens, it's just... I can't even describe how fun that map is to play. Just trying to sneak up onto that skyscraper and having those fights over who controls the top of the skyscraper and jumping off the skyscraper and everyone having their own little battles in every single corner of the map, and the fact that snipers can have their own little battles and people that go around with regular guns don't really get affected by snipers, because snipers just sort of, well, they just sort of have their own little battles on rooftops and stuff. Siege of Shanghai was just such a fantastic map, and the Levolution event as well was always really fun to watch, even though it ruined the map. But on the other hand, I suppose you could always just, you know, start playing different objectives and ignore the middle of the map. And if the Levolution event happened towards the end of the game, then, you know, it would be alright. It would be a welcome change, you know, just to have a slightly different setting right at the end of the game. So yeah, that map wasn't perfect, and a lot of people don't like that map, but it's such a memorable, fun experience. And we need maps like that. We need maps that are truly just... they just stand out. They feel expansive. They feel massive. It feels like everyone's having their own little battles on their own little corners of the map. That's what we need. We need stuff that's just fun for the sake of being fun. As opposed to these carefully controlled, balanced, very boring maps. I mean, a bit of close quarters is fine, but we need some truly massive maps. And to be fair, the most recent maps they've released have sort of been heading in the right direction, with Blackwell Fields and that other one, the California one that I can't remember the name of. Those maps have been heading in the right direction, but obviously I think they are just a bit boring. There's nothing really special that stands out about them. They don't have any unique features. Especially that California map is sort of just a terrible map. You can't really snipe on it. There aren't really that many good sniping positions, unless you get on top of the pylons here, like I did. But obviously, the second someone sees you up here, it's just game over. And that's another thing I really want to get to, that this game has done amazingly well, probably better than any other Battlefield game before it. And that is snipers. I absolutely love the snipers in this game. I love sniping in this game. It's the most amount of fun I've had sniping in any Battlefield game. It's absolutely amazing. Some of the maps, I have to admit, are very catered towards snipers. Some of the maps, you basically are forced into sniping or playing as recon, because it's just a nightmare to try to navigate around. If you're not using a sniper, you're just going to get absolutely molested by other snipers the second you pop your head out of anywhere. But I've had so much fun playing as recon in this game, I've got to say. Some of the most satisfying sniper gameplay of any Battlefield game. Like, extremely satisfying sniper gameplay. I absolutely love the snipers in this game. That's one thing the game does amazingly well. And to be honest, Blackwell Fields... he's kind of more balanced. I mean, there aren't that many good sniper vantage points. There are a few good ones, but you are fairly exposed, and people can't flank you really easily. But yeah, I've got to say, sniping in this game is amazing. Even though there is a limited pool of maps that you can actually snipe on successfully, because most of the maps are very close quarters, or they're just not very well designed for snipers. And then there are other maps that are purely designed for sniping, and you'd get absolutely destroyed if you tried to do anything else, and you're basically forced to play as recon, or just basically run around and pray that you don't get domed from 500 meters away. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say this video. Battlefield 6 is a very good game. I think it could be improved by more memorable maps, more fun maps, larger maps, maps with more unique features in them. But other than that, I think this game is fairly close to perfection. I know there's a few issues with the class systems, but hopefully they get ironed out. My only other complaint with this game would be, obviously, the whole Battle Pass nonsense and the Battle Royale nonsense. I mean, I just ignore that. I don't think I've ever bought a Battle Pass for any game ever, and I probably never will. I'd much rather just play the game to earn camos and skins. I think paying for a Battle Pass is kind of ridiculous. I'd rather have random supply drops, because at least then you have a chance of getting the item that you want to get. Whereas with a Battle Pass, you're always forced to pay for it. So I absolutely hate Battle Passes. Some people think they're an improvement on loot crates, but I kind of disagree, because you don't have to pay for loot crates. You can get them for free in most games. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video.